Hello. That's how Miss Doubtfire used to greet people on Miss Doubtfire when she put the pancake on her face, the pie on her face. Shoba fit, what's good? Um, I speak 12 languages, but I'm gonna speak English because um, not everybody knows the other languages. Yeah, so forgive me if I don't speak your language. Yeah, but I wanted to say, I'm watching all these YouTube channels of people and all that. Some people don't like preachers, they don't like Christianity, some don't like, and some don't like uh, Muslim stuff, and some don't like Buddhist and all that, whatever, whatever. Everybody's on different tips right now. But uh, there's something that I read way back that made me think twice, and I've been living by that principle. Mm, Jesus said that there are other gods. You can Google it. If you want to. If you don't have a Bible, if you're not a Bible guy, he says that there's other gods. So God said didn't say there's no such thing as Allah. There's no such thing as Buddha. There's no such thing as Java, Safari, Selassie, whatever. There's no such thing as the devil, because the Satan is so. Some people pray to the devil and all the Illuminati and whatever. There's no such thing as all the different gods, like the Indian gods and all that, Zeus, all that. But then he says, don't bow down to them. So, and then another thing that he says is, uh, you can preach. If you're a Christian, you can preach, you can heal, you can feed 5,000 people. But if you don't have love, Love, like Jaheim said, the R&B singer, then it's all for nothing. It doesn't matter if you don't have love. So I think if people would get together and show love to different cultures, and religions and all that, one thought, even the Christians have separated themselves, one thought, you know, like they fighting because one person says Jesus is the bread of life, and the other one says he's the image of the bread, or the bread is the image of Jesus, one thought. But we're fighting over that. We're not saying we love each other because we believe that Jesus died for us on the cross, on third. So yeah, I'm not a Catholic, but I like Pope Leo, and he said that we must make videos of God and Jesus online so that we can promote Jesus. So uh I've been a battle rapper, doing battle rap since I was a kid. Until Tupac was the reason why I got into hip hop with his song "Keep Your Head Up." I listened to the songs before that, the whole Tupacalypse and all that. I had the cassette. My father bought me the "Murder Was a Case" by Snoop, the cassette. Also the Dr. Dre, Chronic, yeah. And at religious study, when we had religious study, the teacher in our first lesson, she said, today we're going to read on uh, Chronicles something. I can't remember the number. And I put up my hand and said, "Ma'am, we're gonna have the Chronic." Then they say, "Huh?" I remember there was this girl called Laverne Mason. She said to me, "What you talking about?" Then I said, "Dr. Dre, the Chronic." One time, because I was in a trap house when I was like 4 years old. This kid was smoking some Buddha, some blunt blaze, and I was like 4 years old inside the house there. So I got introduced to that, but I didn't smoke. I just watched them. So yeah, that was around about 1988 when I saw that guy smoking one time. So I was I wasn't scared of seeing people smoking and doing that, because I got to see lots of them doing that after a while. So and then Snoop, and Dr. Dre made it look cool. But I wasn't smoking until my parents divorced. That's when I had my first smoke, like cigarette though. And then I had my first blunt, 1999. But yeah, I haven't smoked weed in like 10 years or so. Yeah. So since then, so since 1999. So I don't know, 2010 maybe, or 2016. Last time I smoked, like just before they legalized it. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, it's not about what you do, because Jesus said it's not what goes inside the mouth, it's what comes out of the heart that I look at on third. So I said no, I can't smoke weed, because even though it's not bad when it goes inside the mouth, but it affects my mother. She's scared I'm gonna go to jail, you know, and I don't want the deadless to put baby oil in me on me there. One time, yeah. So I smoked for maybe 16 years or so. I can't remember, but somewhere around there, 19, 16 years, 19 years, I think. But then I stopped. Yeah, just to respect my mother. Sometimes you do things because of your environment and people, what they tell you is right. They say weed isn't addictive, but I was smoking every day. So if it isn't addictive, why do I have to smoke every day? Why can't I smoke once a week, or something like that? So like I put a post way back, maybe 7 years ago. I said, you know what? For the people that do any type of drug or alcohol or anything, the solution is that before you have to go to rehab or be a hobo or something like that, or mess up in life, just smoke or drink on special occasions, like on your birthday, when you've worked and you've worked hard for your bread. And I don't mean like every weekend, because if you drink and smoke every weekend, like your money goes away and you can't provide for your family. Because Jesus said, you can't say that you love me but you don't give and provide to your family. So it's like when somebody asks you for money and then you say that person is a gold digger, or my family is asking me for money and all that. God said that what's the use of giving me a million rands but you can't give your family a million rands. So it's like, yeah, that money that I used to waste on the blaze and the libations, the liquor and the weed. I can see it's going to better places now. I can do better with it. Yeah. And the last piece of advice is that, look, these rappers and all that, I rap too. I got a mixtape, but the successful ones, they have a record label and lawyers. So when they get busted with any type of paraphernalia, weed, drugs, or anything, they can talk to the lawyers ASAP and get them out of jail until you don't have you have a 2,000 rand gun, 2,000 buck gun, but you don't have 2,000 rands in your pocket. Until that's hustling backwards. That's ass backwards. So the thing about it is that I was working. I got my first job at the age of 12 in high school. My first job high school. I had a job until no, I was 13 when I got a job, and I worked until I was 20 at the same place at Pick and Pay in Pretoria at Cornwall Complex, there by Pierre van Renneveld, something like that. Yeah, yeah, by Elados Park. Sorry, so yeah, Elados Park side. Just when you go down the street, just near to the highway when you're going to Pierre van Renneveld and Reed Valley. Yeah, by Reed Valley. Now I remember in Pretoria there. So that's why I started drinking a lot and all that. But it was after the divorce, and yeah, my mother was told me some other message, but I can't talk about that. Yeah, that's family business. Yeah. This kid from Black Text is a sitcom. He comes from the rural areas, the farm, and like he's supposed to say snitches get stitches, and then he says stitches get snitches. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I gotta say. I don't want to talk too long, man. One love, peace, Lord. And then CeeLo says, if you God, then save your own. Don't mentally slave your own. If you God, then save your own. Don't mentally slave your own. Don't mentally enslave your own. If you God, then save your own. Don't mentally enslave your own. All right, peace, Lord. Peace, God. Show more. Oiba feet. Rise, lad. Shout.